An opportunity for the home team to take a 3-1 series lead here as the Pacers and the Knicks play an entertaining ball game that was high-flying in the first quarter. John Haliburton back to cheer on his son. And speaking of high-flying, there's Aaron Nesmith, the three-point marksman, attacking the rim. How's the ankle? Just fine. Got the bounce. And now with the Knicks down 4, float game. That's Brunson off glass and one with the free throw. Haliburton from deep. Cookies. It's 43-35 after the first quarter. Haliburton playing at an astounding level. Tim Legler sitting here with the touchscreen ready to show you how in his bag he was. That scoop puts the Pacers back up 2. Karl-Anthony Towns has it stripped, stays with it, ties it back up at 56. Late in the first half, Haliburton, Nesmith, no foul, off glass, good. Haliburton had 20 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds in the first half. Pacers up 5 at the break. They lead by 8 into the third. Pascal Siakam, take those 2 with you over Towns. The lead swells to 10. But New York, they're going to play a little bully ball in the paint as Brunson dishes out the contact, gets a clean look, and makes it a 5-point game. Welcome back to the highlights, Benedict Mathurin. He had only 9 points in this entire series. Had a big game tonight, and one there. And it's a 7-point game. Make it 10. Another deep 3 for Haliburton. The lead is 11 after 3. Into the fourth, it's 12. Corner 3. Is that a knockout punch? Siakam. He had 30 on the night. New York will not go quietly into the night. Bridges rattles home a 3. He had 17. It's an 8-point game late, down low. Towns with the gather and the putback. He had 24. 6-point game late, down the lane. It's Haliburton. Bucket good. 7-point game with 2.5. Great ball movement. Nesmith passes on the 3. The contact there is with Towns. Actually, they reviewed, and the foul went against the Pacers, but you see Karl-Anthony Towns with the contact there on the knee. The step back here late with the shot clock winding down, and that is the 3 from Obi Toppin. And the Pacers have a 3-1 series lead. Siakam with Katie George.
This team is so good at bouncing back after losses. You guys haven't lost 2 games in a row since early March. Why is that you guys are able to respond in such a great way?
We got a resilient group. Obviously, we didn't like the way we finished the game or the way we played our second half. So, we just came out with a little bit more urgency. And the guys know, when we have one of those bad games, we got to get back, to being who we are. And I thought we did that tonight.
Tyrese has 32 points. You added your own 30-point game. How would you describe the impact you were able to have?
Yeah, I mean, Ty runs the show for us, so we want him to, get us in position, and he did that well tonight. Made some shots, but I just love his energy. And for me, man, I'm just out there playing, man. Just trying to fit in and just doing my job.
It seems like you guys continue to get steady performances top to bottom on your entire roster. Tonight, Ben Mathurin comes off the bench and adds 17 points. How pivotal has your depth been in this series?
Yeah, it's a big part of who we are. Coach has been preaching it from the beginning of the season. And, we're going to ride with our guys. We got 10, 12, whatever, ready to play. And so that makes it special.
Lastly, this is the same scenario you were in the Cleveland series. Up 3-1, you go on the road to try to close out a series. What challenge does that present, and what did you learn from last series?
Yeah, it's going to be big. We know they're going to throw everything at us. It's the Garden, so we got to be ready. Just focus on us being who we are, and, no matter what, just stay together.
Myles, hey, it's Scott Van Pelt. Welcome to the show for the first time, man. As I was listening to Pascal, I saw you with a giant smile on your face. This is a tough New York team, man. You guys have them down double digits. You know they're not going to go away quietly. What did it take tonight to get this monster victory to get you a game closer to the NBA Finals?
Yes, sir. First and foremost, respect. SVP, been watching for a long time, man, so respect and love. But for us, man, it's just about our pace. Our pace is just what's got us going over these past, honestly, the entire season. We lost over our pace last game, and we picked it up and cleared the boards and just an overall belief.
Benedict Mathurin, I said, welcome back to the highlights. Here's a guy who throughout the season is a bucket, and he can contribute in such a big way. I think it takes a real professional and mature approach to know that, okay, my night might not be tonight, but if it is tonight, I'm here, I'm ready. What does that mean to get that level of contribution on a night when it was required?
I'm so proud of Ben Mathurin, man. That's my little bro right there. I think that people forget to realize like this is his first playoff experience ever, as a professional. So he's been handling ups and downs really well. He took the criticism and he showed up tonight and just played for his team. So very talented player, and he's going to continue to shine in this league.
My guy Tim Legler standing by, and he's the genius on that touchscreen, and he's going to do his thing on what Ty Haliburton gave tonight from his perspective. You're on the floor with the man. He's playing at an insane level, Myles. What did he provide to your team tonight?
Just consistency, man. That's another person who's just taking the criticism, drowned out the noise, and has been able to produce. I think that he took a little personal last game, and I think he knew he had to be more aggressive tonight. He was able to step up and show out, and lead his team to a victory tonight.
I think that's such an interesting thing, Myles, like the ability to flush it, right? You think about the late, great Kobe Bryant who talked about that. The ability to take a performance that is not your best and flush it and move on. Everybody, look, I have lousy shows, probably more of them than I wish. But when I'm driving home, I'm like, all right, next show.
Stop it.
No, it's a fact, man. I mean, it's. Have you seen the show, Myles? It's not great. But the ability to move on after you stumble, how much does that show the growth of this group?
We're consummate professionals, man. We put this plan together 3-4 years ago, and it took everybody to believe. And, we knew there was going to be ups and downs. One thing we're saying is that you got to view this series as a 13-day war. You know what I mean? It's going to be a battle. We're on day 8 starting tomorrow. You know what I mean? So we got to continue to keep showing up for each other. And I just like the way I like where our heads are at right now. We're never too high. We're never too low. Just be a very even kill. And, man, I'll give you all the professional answers, man, but at the end of the day, we're excited. We have an opportunity ahead of us, and we got to take advantage of it.
All right, I appreciate your time. I'll close with one last thought. I mean, what's required. It's one more win, wherever it comes, whenever it comes. You know where you're going. It's a place where you've already performed incredibly well. How much do those victories that you've had, not just there, but on the road throughout these playoffs, give you all just the kind of resolute belief that we're getting a win somewhere? It doesn't matter if it's there or here. I mean, that kind of confidence. How do you describe that, Myles?
Yeah, man, we're going into the jungle, baby. Ultimate competitive environment, up north in New York. And, I think it brings the best out of this group. I think this group thrives with adversity. I think that's been our calling card, over the past couple of years. So, whatever challenge maybe present themselves, I guarantee we'll be ready.
Game away from the biggest stage in this sport. I'm sure you guys will be focused on that. I appreciate you taking a minute. I appreciate the kind words about the show, and thanks for making your debut. Hopefully we can do it again, all right?
Yes, sir. Salute.
Thank you so much, Myles Turner. All right, as promised, Tim Legler. Back where he belongs. We love you on the road, my friend, but face-to-face in the playoffs, you know how much we love this. You've got the touchscreen out. I just want folks to understand something. As we're watching this game, you are not freaking out, but you're like, this guy is playing at a level that is as high a level as can be played. What was it about what he did that made you feel that this is top shelf stuff?
Well, first and foremost, he criticized himself after the performance in the fourth quarter the other night. And it really wasn't all him, but he took that ownership. And what he said was, I'm the motor. I can't at any point let up because that's our advantage in this series. And he did it from the very beginning of the game. Just a clean sheet, scorer, facilitator, not turning the basketball over. This is very early in the game, as you can see. So this is where the tone is set. It's only a 6-5 game. But this was the approach they were going to have all night. Starts on defense. Now, for the Knicks, you can't ask for a better possession when you get a chance to score in the paint. And more importantly, you force 4 defensive players below the foul line. This should not be a transition opportunity, particularly on a make. But watch what happens. Ball goes through the net as Brunson finishes this. I mean, look, and Nesmith is casually taking it out. It's not like he busted it. Here's the key. These 3 Knicks defenders, they're acting as if they're playing just another team. You're not. Those first 3 strides have to be sprints up the floor. When they're not, this is what happens. And this is what Tyrese Haliburton specializes in, where he catches this outlet pass. I've been talking about jamming him up. It's so important, Scott. This is where he catches it. So he's already, in that 18 to 20 foot range up the floor.
Right.
Okay. Now look where his eyes go immediately.
Down court.
He already sees, because Siakam took off when the ball went through the net. And by this pass, with that level of velocity, what he has done now is put the basketball in front of 4 Knicks, and you're giving it to your co-star in a one-on-one against a backpedaling center. So even after you get basically a layup offensively, they are scoring within 4 seconds the other way because of Tyrese Haliburton's ability to get it to you. Now, here's a problem for the Knicks. I think the whole series, they don't have the personnel really to jam up. So you're talking about all this space for Haliburton. I tell you this, if Indiana makes it to the finals and play OKC, they're not going to get this. He's going to be picked up in the backcourt. This means a lot of freedom of movement. For a guy this good, he's just going to pick you apart. So I'm going to stop it here and look at what he's processing as he comes off this ball screen. He's looking at 3 different things at the same time. The first is his roll man. Then he's looking weak side. He knows he's got a shooter here, but the main guy he's focusing on is right here. And he's going to watch what Josh Hart does, and you're going to see Josh Hart pinches on this dive right here by Bradley. Great relocation by Nembhard to give him a better passing angle. So now Haliburton is going to make this cross-court pass. And here's the best part about it. That ball is in the cradle, man. He hit him right on the number 2 with velocity. Josh Hart, he basically gives up on a closeout, puts his hands out to the side. What am I supposed to do about that? You can't play, I said it to you up there, you can't play point guard under the circumstances with what's at stake better than Tyrese Haliburton played that position tonight.
All right, there's a lot I want to ask you about the significance of this game because of what it followed, and it's a trend for Indiana that's a positive trend. Coach Tom Thibodeau, after his team dug itself a hole that is now one step away from season over.
Questions? Tom, you guys spent most of the season as a low turnover team, 17 tonight for 20 Indy points. A lot of them felt unforced. Just from your vantage point, what were you seeing there with the turnovers?
Yeah, I think it was probably a compilation of things. Yeah, the first quarter was problematic. That set the tone for the game, giving up 43 points. And then you turn it over against them, particularly the live ball turnovers. You're fueling, transition game. And we started slowly, and then we fought back, but we didn't close the half well. The last minute and a half, it wasn't good. Then we started the third slowly, and then we fought to come back, but we kept digging out of holes.
Tom, it seemed like you guys found something defensively in Game 3. Today it seemed like every time you guys made a run, just couldn't get the stop, and I think, like you said, 43 in the first quarter. What did you see defensively that wasn't working?
Well, we knew it was going to be a fast game, so the priority was, defensive transition to get set, but we hurt ourselves with our turnovers, putting them in the open floor.
Tom, that was what I wanted to ask about, is that you and the players obviously have talked all postseason about the importance of 48 minutes. I'm curious, how challenging is it to make the right play, to make the right read, to make sure that you're covering the right rotation that many times over a 48-minute game against a team that plays this fast? Is it more of a challenge?
Well, I think the thing is every game is going to be hard fought. So even in tonight's game, we still had a chance at the end. So with the idea being we say 48 minutes and you're striving for that, knowing that it's impossible to get to that. You're not going to get perfection, but strive for it. Fight to win every possession. That matters. And you don't know which possession makes the difference between winning and losing in the end, but each possession is critical. So, and at the end, you obviously want to make more winning plays than they do, and we haven't done that. So, but that being said, it's get ready for the next game. So we'll look at the film, make our corrections, just lock into what we have to do for the next game.
That's the contact from the losing side. Here's Coach Carlisle, whose Pacers are a game away from the finals.
It was a very, very tough game, very competitive game. I mean, some of the shot making in this series has been really beyond belief. Both teams, I mean, some of the shots Anunoby's hit, and one of the setback on the left wing tonight was just unbelievable shot, and so at these high levels, these guys do amazing things, and so when he can get a stop and a rebound, it's it almost feels like an anomaly sometimes. But proud of Ben Mathurin. The guy has stayed ready. Came in yesterday, worked, got shooting in, got some simulated game shots. I've just been encouraging him to stay ready, that we need him, and that the playoffs are they're just a different animal. And so tonight he was great. Really gave us a huge lift and some really timely buckets. So really proud of him. I know Ty did some historic stat stuff tonight. That's great, but it's tough talking about stats when it's such a team thing right now. So happy for him. It'll get celebrated on all the networks and stuff like that. But in our world right now, it's day 7 of 13, and tomorrow's day 8. And we've got to just keep our eye on the ball and keep focusing on each day.
I'm interested in the importance of Rick Carlisle to the group, because this is still a pretty young group collectively. They lost Game 3 in each playoff series. They have not lost 2 in a row, and they have rebounded after the Game 3 losses with double-digit wins in every one. Tonight they screwed up the stat because they only won by 9. I don't care. They won the game. How much of that credit belongs to the man we just heard from, Rick Carlisle?
A ton. The thing I love about him the most, and I've known Rick a long time, and I've always appreciated the fact that there's never an overreaction to the moment. It's so important for young players that be the case, including something as simple as continue to have faith in Benedict Mathurin. I mean, that's a perfect example of it. Not an overreaction to, man, this is a tight situation here. 2-1, he's struggling. Do I go somewhere else with his minutes? Instead, he keeps running him out there. It was a matter of time. He gave them a huge boost tonight. And the reason something like that's so important, you don't feel like a complete team because that's hanging in the air. Regardless of what's going on in the series, and you're up 2-1, and that's great. Everybody knows that one of your key guys is really struggling. You're talking about a guy that in the last 5 games total had less points than he had per night on average in the NBA regular season. That's how bad he was struggling, and everybody knows it's in the air. So for Rick Carlisle to just continue to have faith, he was going to have a breakout because of that. His coach believed in him, his teammates believed in him, but he still had to go do it, and he did. So to have a guy that can navigate the emotions of a playoff run, so important for a younger team that was on the stage a year ago, but this team seems much more equipped to handle it.
And so between Mathurin and Siakam, you get 50 on 16 and 29 shooting. So you addressed Mathurin and the professional approach, and you just heard Carlisle say he came in, put his work in, and that work pays off tonight. But when you got a secondary scorer in Siakam, who, by the way, has a ring, and gets 30, has his second monster 30-point game in this series, well, luxury is not the right word, but that's the reason the team wins. Not just Haliburton, but here's another dude that's got a 30-piece for you.
The only reason he would get overshadowed and not be the headline is because of what we just watched out of Tyrese Haliburton, which was a masterclass in playing point guard at the highest level. Siakam, here's what he does. So I talked about Haliburton being the engine, and then Rick Carlisle addressed the team thing, and they've got a lot of role players that do a great job. You know what Siakam represents? He's the hammer, because at the end of the day, on any possession, he's the guy you can give it to just go win a one-on-one. Just go win me a one-on-one, because there really isn't a great matchup. He's got that herky-jerky style with his handle. He's all high and loose, but he's so shifty. So big guys are always off balance. Smaller guys, he just puts you on his back and gets you into the post and shoots that little fadeaway spin-off jumper. His motor also very high. He has been since the day he came into the league. So tonight, when your 2 best players step up and play that well, I mean, you're going to get a win. It's very rare that you won't. They shot 50% combined from the field, 50 from the 3, and they missed 1 free throw between the 2 of them. And Haliburton had 14 assists and no turnovers. That's as good as it gets.
I appreciate what Tibbs says about you take a look and you try to figure out how to make more winning plays. I don't know if the fix is on tape. I don't necessarily see what you look at if you're him and that New York team and fix. You're shaking your head no. You agree this isn't something that's fixed by what you see on film?
I don't think it is, and here's why. If you look at this entire series, they've only had 2 stretches where they really guarded them effectively. One of them was in Game 1 when Brunson was out of the game with his 5th foul, and they got that separation before all hell broke loose and they lost that lead. They guarded them well physically. They were up into them during that 7-8 minute stretch of the fourth quarter, game one. And then the fourth quarter the other night. But I felt like that was more self-inflicted on the part of Indiana because they didn't play as fast as they normally do.
They got up 20 and they had a parade for themselves.
They did. They really did. They just got away from like their wheelhouse. The ball was being dribbled too much. Guys were standing on the weak side. That's not who they are.
Go. That's what you do.
So 2 stretches in the whole series have the Knicks effectively proven that, hey, we can guard these guys a little bit. For the most part, Rick Carlisle knows in now 4 games, his team has played much closer to their ceiling for far longer stretches of games.
We're a game away from Pacers Thunder. Thunder can beat them. They're great, but they're not going to slow the Pacers. You're going to stop them. Like, I don't think anyone in the league can. Knicks are a capable defensive team. You can't slow this offensive team down. I don't think. It'll be a blast. It'll be high-level basketball if that's where we get. Still games to be won. Tim, appreciate the time. More to come from you tomorrow. Knicks open as 4.5-point favorites in Game 5. Pacers overwhelming favorites to win the series and get back to the finals for the first time since 2000. Pleased to welcome Monica McNutt back to the program. And Monica, as I showed in that highlight, as brilliant as Haliburton was in this game, and he was brilliant, it's a 6-point game in the fourth, 4 to go, and New York has shown that they are plenty capable of reaching in and stealing a win if you let them hang around. But they didn't. What did they do, or what I should say, Monica, what didn't they do in those last 4 minutes that is confounding?
SVP, take care of the basketball. I mean, you look at the box score, 20 points off of 17 turnovers. They spotted the Pacers 20, and this is a team that doesn't need to be spotted 20. And while that last 3-minute stretch is critical, because you're right, it's a 2-possession ball game, I want to take you back to the third quarter. The Knicks shot 13 of 15 from the free throw line, outstanding. The Pacers shot 2 of 10 from the 3-point line, outstanding if you're the New York Knicks, and they were still outscored by 6 points in that third quarter, SVP. And so the way they started the third quarter of that basketball game, to me, just haunted them. And still, it's a 2-point ball game late. I just thought in important moments, the Knicks lacked the focus that is needed to get a win on the road and even this series up. The turnovers either literally led to points or they stole momentum right from underneath them.
I'm interested in something that Rick Carlisle mentioned that you, given your hoop background as an excellent player, would know. Just the level of shot making, Monica, on both sides is mind-boggling to me. Like, I look at the stat sheet every night. Indiana's over 50-something% again. From both sides, just how would you describe the level of shot making we've seen, particularly from this Pacers squad that's up 3-1?
You know, they are playing, what's the saying, clear eyes, full heart, can't lose? Like, that's what it looks like from the Pacers, right? Tyrese Haliburton clearly set the tone in this one early in this ballgame. He practically had a triple-double at halftime and, of course, goes on to hammer those stats home. But there's just a confidence about the Pacers. And on the other side, even though the Knicks were sort of up and down through this one, they're still were able to hit some big shots to help them stay attached. And so I have so much respect for these guys as tremendous athletes. But this Pacers offense, the more and more I watch it, like, it is just a sight to behold. And they can roll in so many different guys. I mean, Ben Mathurin has not been a factor in this series until tonight's contest. And he was terrific out there.
Yeah, but that's just professional. That's just how you act. Be ready for the moment, and when it comes, you step up, and he did. You've been watching all season, whether it's courtside or up high, with a great bird's eye view of this Knicks team. They're not going to quit. They're not going to go quietly. What has to happen for them to defend home floor and give themselves a chance? Because it's not like they've got run in this series. They've been right there with a chance.
It's got to be smarter basketball, SVP. That's the only way that I can sum it up. You'll look at the box score and you'll say, oh, so-and-so got their numbers. But if you didn't watch this game, you missed moments where it was just sort of confounding. Turnovers that are out of character, and these guys are accountable, so I feel comfortable saying this, but turnovers that are out of character when you look at Josh Hart. OG Anunoby in the fourth quarter, great cuts, great plays, getting to the rim, but uncertain what to do with the basketball. And I will give the Pacers defense their credit late. But I think you have to be prepared to meet force with force. This is the Eastern Conference Finals. And so I expect a much more focused level of basketball for the Knicks to keep their series hopes alive.
It's been a hell of a season. I'm sure they do not want it to end back on their floor. Monica, I appreciate the time. Hopefully we can visit after Game 5.
Sounds good.
Still waiting for members of the Pacers team to hit the podium. Knicks as well, frankly. Some more perspective on where we are as the Pacers have taken a 3-1 lead in this series. They've had the same 3-1 lead in every playoff series thus far this postseason. They're 10-0 all time in that situation. Just one of those 10 has even made it to a 7th game. The 10 series victories, the 4th most without a loss in NBA history. We know all about Tyrese Haliburton's ability to score and pass the ball. He made history on this Tuesday night, the 3rd player all time with 30, 15, and 10, as we shared with you earlier, on a list now with Nikola Jokic and the Big O, Oscar Robertson. He also had no turnovers, which is just outrageous. Fast break points, a huge differentiator in Game 4. Indiana outscores New York by 22-9. That's 13. They won the game by 9. The entire series, Indiana boasts a 65-23 advantage in fast break points. As for the New York side, they know what they face. They're heading home, and they've got to win.
Yeah, I mean, we're going back home. I never known this team to quit. That's not the character of the guys that we have in the locker room. So obviously our backs against the wall, but you know we're competitors, and we're going to bring it until the series is over. So obviously we're disappointed with the position that we're in right now, but you know we don't quit.
It's one game at a time. That's really it. You got to get ready for Game 5, and just one game at a time.
How much does the amount of adversity you guys have already faced this postseason kind of help you heading into this next game?
Yeah, just part of the grind, part of the story. Just we just gotta learn from it. And we've been part of a lot of different games, different series. But yeah, just a little gut check time.
Tim Legler standing by. We're going to talk West in a moment. We've talked a ton about the East, but you were raving about Haliburton, showed the brilliance of his night. He has just sat down at the podium, and we will hear from him now.
Yeah, I felt like in the 4th quarter last game, we were a little bit more reactive than proactive. You know, they got some guys who can just make some hellacious shots, you know, and KAT and JB did that last game, and I felt like those were kind of like, you know, taking the air out of us. We were, you know, kind of sighing after everyone and walking the ball up. Today, you know, we were just trying to keep focused on who cares? You know, let's get it in and let's run, go right back at them. They're going to make shots. Let's just keep going. So I thought we did a great job of just playing our way, you know, the whole game, keeping pace in the game and just playing Pacer basketball. So I thought we responded really well, which we've proven that we do after tough losses really all year and especially in these playoffs. So really proud of our effort as a group. And, yeah, I got to watch this film, see where we can get better. I think there's still ways for us to get better. You know, again, they made some hellacious shots again today. You know, OG made a big sidestep there on that left wing. Mikal made some big shots. Like, when you play these guys, the game ain't over until it hits 0. You know, so I thought we did a great job staying with it, and we should watch film, see where we can get better, and you know, get ready for Game 5.
So obviously Rick was just saying he doesn't want to talk too much about you know, individual statistics, but 32, 15, 12, 4 steals and 0 turnovers. I mean, what makes you guys proud of just the completeness, I guess, of that game? What stands out to you about how you were able to put it all together on both ends?
Yeah, I was just trying to be aggressive, man. Just trying to play my best. You know, I felt like I let the team down in Game 3. Felt like I could have been so much better. So I felt like I responded the right way today. Just trying to be aggressive, take what the defense gives me. I felt like I was a little jittery, playing too fast. So just trying to calm myself down, especially in the half court and isolations and stuff. Trying to, you know, just, you know, settle down, you know, and then just trying to find guys and just play the right way. You know, coach is always on me to rebound. Everybody's on me to rebound. So just trying to step up there, be the best I could. And, you know, everybody's, you know, boxing their guy out, you know, especially Mitch Robinson, Josh Hart. I got so many guys who just crash the glass like crazy, sorry. And I'm just trying to come in and clean it up. And I thought I did a decent job at that. But, you know, still a lot of ways for me to get better and us to get better as a group. So none of that's possible without, you know, full team effort.
About one guy, Ben Mathurin, obviously comes up with 20.
Yeah.
Making a lot of the shots it seems like you guys want him to make, making the passes you want him to make as well. Just what did you like about his overall approach, how he kind of got past a couple tough games to start this series, and basically gave you the kind of offensive performance you guys wanted from him?
Yeah, I think he settled in. You know, I think obviously this has been, you know, he hasn't probably played the way he wants to this series. And we knew it would just take him to see one go in. You know, he made the mid-range jumper right out of right as soon as he got in the game for me there in the first quarter. Then had a kill cut, made a reverse layup. Just had to see the ball go in. And obviously he's a guy that, we've preached, we really missed last year in the playoffs. That spark off the bench. And a guy like that comes in, gets 11 free throws, really aggressive for us, especially, in his minutes, just playing the best to his ability. And I think, coming in today, we didn't know what was going to be needed from him with Aaron's status. And I thought he did a great job of just responding, playing a great overall game. And, really proud of him tonight. And, we just got to keep it going.
Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns combined for 55, but New York comes up short on the road. Their reactions following the loss to the Pacers.
Karl, I know you were able to get back on the floor after your knee was hurting, but how's it feeling now? Do you think it'll prevent you from playing?
I'm only thinking about the loss. I'm not thinking about that right now. So, it's disappointing when you don't get a win. And we just didn't do enough to get the job done tonight.
Jalen, you guys have been so good with backs to the wall. Now it's elimination. You're facing Thursday. Just kind of what changes or what has to change as you come back out on Thursday at the Garden?
I mean, nothing else matters at this point. I mean, you got to give it your all. It's that simple.
Karl, when you guys are enjoying such a decisive edge on the glass, even in spite of the foul trouble, does that reinforce to some degree your approach taking that into game number 5?
At the end of the day, we're really just worried about getting the win. And, I think the playoffs have shown us that sometimes statistically you think you win these statistics and you win these categories and you're going to win the game. And I think for the whole entire playoffs, not just the series we've been involved with, it's just sometimes the things that are always told to be the things that will win you the game. Sometimes it just comes down to just winning the game. And sometimes it doesn't make sense when you win the rebounding battle and all that stuff and you still find a way to lose the game. I mean, it's just there's little things that just cost us, and there's little things that change the outcome of the game, and we just didn't find ourselves on the right side of the game tonight. You say we did a great job of rebounding. We also, on the same turn, didn't do a good job with the ball and just all around. So that's just one category of many categories, that you got to win a game, and we just didn't do enough.
I know how easily, this could be for either of you, but I know how easily this series could be 2-2, and instead you guys are in a 3-1 hole. Is there something to be said for the pace this team plays at? You guys were a team that was pretty methodical throughout the regular season, that when you guys enjoyed these comeback victories, that you're making play after play after play where you guys just make the right reads and you're playing at your pace. Is there, because of the thought process of if we turn it over, that they run at the pace they do, that just the rotations that they make with their passes and stuff like that they force you guys into, that just the level of decision making with the pace they play at that makes them more difficult to play against than maybe other teams?
I mean, I know this is a copycat league, but a lot of teams have different identities. And so obviously their identities, playing fast, make or miss, run the floor, and we just gotta follow our game plan discipline. And we weren't disciplined tonight. I wasn't disciplined tonight. We just gotta be smarter. I gotta be smarter. It's really that black and white.
We all gotta be better. We all gotta be better for him, with him. We gotta be better as a team. So it's unfortunate we all, couldn't find a way to win tonight, that we found a way in all the other series to do it.
New York back home Thursday, MSG. They're 3-2 their last 5 home games, facing elimination. One of those losses, however, came to the Pacers last year in Game 7 of the conference semis. More SportsCenter from D.C. right after this.